Take your health into your own hands. Hi, I'm Naija Presley, and I'm here to speak to you guys about the importance of taking your health into your own hands and how you can help your community as well. So, what are lifestyle choices that can affect your health negatively? Do you guys have any idea? Well, I can just name a few for you guys that can really impact your health that most people aren't aware of or don't take into account every single day. Smoking. Everyone knows about this one. You get lung cancer from smoking, and it's just not the best way to keep your body intact. Eating eating unhealthily. Sorry. Eating unhealthily is another lifestyle choice that affects your body negatively and can lead to the development of cancer, hypertension, diabetes, all these things that if they do run in your family, it is important to then make those choices to eat healthier and to not fall victim to eating unhealthy. Not exercising. People forget the importance of exercising each day, taking some time out to just walk, jog, stretch, spend some time outside, go to a park. Those things, getting some fresh air, getting the blood pumping, that definitely helps keep your body in shape, helps your cells renew. It really helps the overall health of your body as well. That is a very important thing. And it goes along with eating unhealthily and smoking. So, yeah. And the last thing is not going for regular checkups. I know a lot of people are afraid of doctors and they kind of are wary of what they're going to get when they go to the hospital. But sometimes these checkups, and if something's wrong, you go into the hospital, can find something major and it can save your life. So honestly, utilize the facilities that you have available. And I always 10 out of 10 recommend going to the doctor. And if you need a second opinion, always go and get a second opinion. But they can find things that you were not aware of and give you tips on how to alleviate these problems before they turn chronic or before they turn into long-term problems. So, all that to say is these are lifestyle choices that can help you in everyday life, energy, how you feel each and every day, but they're also things to prevent you from developing cancer. So today we're going to be talking about how cancer specifically plagues New York, what type of cancers, and how it affects different communities within New York. So, 3 cancer types seen within New York are lung, prostate, and breast cancer. So lung cancer is 24.7% of the population in New York is diagnosed with lung cancer. Prostate cancer, it says 25% of men have an incidence of being diagnosed with prostate. And breast cancer for women, it's 28.4% of women will have an incidence, or be diagnosed with breast cancer. This is specifically important because it shows the importance of not smoking, and it definitely shows the importance of getting checkups, definitely going to the hospital and making sure that everything's good, eating healthily, and trying your best to not develop these cancers that are very prevalent in New York. Now, what are cancer disparities? So we talk about preventative ways in which you won't develop cancer or any chronic diseases for that matter. But there are people who are, disadvantaged, don't really have these options and face disparities, which just means that they are predisposed to have negative turnarounds. So like higher mortality rates or higher incidence rates for certain diseases based on their environment. So, like it says, there's 2 factors, biological and socioeconomic, which can lead to cancer disparities or just differences in how people are treated with the disease and how they survive from the disease. So biologic factors is like when someone inherits a gene that can cause a disease. So, like for instance, for breast cancer, they have the BRCA1 gene. If that gene is found mutated, they do say that they should take some preventative measures. Some people go as far as removing the breast tissue that's already there, but this does predispose you to getting breast cancer in the future. And if you just take those preventative measures and try your best, you will have a less chance of getting the disease. For socioeconomic factors, that is something that is community based. So, like social and economic characteristics, meaning economically, you can't afford to go to the doctor, you can't afford to have health insurance or at least proper health insurance. And you can't afford transportation to get you to and from doctor's appointments and stuff of that nature. It can affect your survival of the disease, and it can also affect you preventing yourself from getting the disease. Social factors just means like race, status, and race is a big thing in the health system altogether, because they do still believe that Black people don't experience pain the same way as white people. So that can lead to a lot of different treatment styles and things of that nature, which can lead to disparities in the numbers that we see. So, cancer disparities seen in New York. Prostate cancer in Black males has a higher incidence and mortality rate. So this study was done from 2014 to 2017. So it's not the most frequent documentation, but it does show that incidence, meaning they are diagnosed at higher rates, and the mortality rate is high. So that's compared to Caucasians, non-Hispanic, and Hispanic males. Breast cancer in Black women have a higher mortality rate, even though they don't have the highest incidence. So that's just meaning that though they are not diagnosed the most with breast cancer, they do die at higher rates than the people that they're compared to, such as, like I said, Caucasian women and Hispanic women. So that's just to show that Black women and Black males are affected disproportionately to diseases that everyone is able to get in New York. So those two cancers I said are the highest and most prevalent in New York. So everyone is susceptible. But for people who are dying at higher rates and are being diagnosed at higher rates, that is seen as a disparity based on their socioeconomic status or based on biologically. But either way, there's a disparity in the numbers. And so we talk about early detection and prevention. So in order to get early detection and or to have prevention, you need to have certain things aligned. So like I said before, socioeconomic factors that can affect your diagnosis and everything would be transportation, social norms, insurance, education, race, and environment. So with transportation, you have to be able to go to a doctor's office or a clinic to even get tested for prostate cancer or breast cancer. So that is important. Access to those facilities and being able to get there. Social norms, it is a known idea. Well, kind of like, not a fact, but it is known that Black men don't usually like to go and get their prostate checked. And it's a social norm to be weird about those things. Just like Black women, some people don't go and get tested for breast cancer. Certain social norms within your community can deter you from going to do things for your health. Insurance is a big factor because medical bills can pile up and be daunting. So people would rather just not go to the hospital. Education. So some people don't even know that they have to get checkups and they have to get tests done in order to early detect or prevent these diseases from even occurring. A lot of people don't even go to a genetic counselor to see if they are predisposed for certain diseases. So that's just important to note that a lot of people aren't even educated on these topics. Race, as I said, is an important socioeconomic factor because racism is still prevalent. And just your environment. Do you have access to healthier food options? What is in your environment? Do you guys have parks outside? Do you have running tracks that you could run on for exercise? So those are all things that are very important to take into account. And like I said, screening for breast and prostate cancer is important and necessary to catch the disease early. The earlier you catch the disease, the higher your survival rate will be. So that can in turn affect people's mortality rate, and it may decrease based on just early detection. Like I said, eating healthier and having access to healthier meal options is important. So you have to take into account, do I live in an environment that has these things for me? And should I advocate for those things myself? Having insurance and utilizing a primary care physician. So if you do have insurance, utilize your primary care physician for checkups. Allow them to develop like a medical history on you so that they know if anything is abnormal or not. It's easier for them to track, and it's easier for you to know what is going on with your body and such. Exercising or having access to a gym is also another thing. You need to have physical activity. You need to do these things in order to reduce your statistics of chronic diseases. And lastly, intervention within communities. So, a company that works in Long Island, New York, is Northwell Health, and it has went into areas and educated people on the importance of health literacy. So, not specifically towards cancer, but they have been trying to decrease, STDs and stuff of that nature, decrease teen pregnancies, just by educating them on safe sex practices. I feel like that's very important. The next steps will be to engage in community-based research in order to best serve this community specifically. So, with that being said, community engagement. With becoming aware of the things that affect members of society disproportionately, how would you do your part to help? So, if scientists come into your community and ask you to participate in just spreading awareness or in just doing surveys and just engaging them just so they know what specific factors affect the community so that they can then put in intervention tactics to help, it is important. And yeah, it says it is important to build camaraderie amongst your peers, but also with the scientific community that can help you alleviate some of these factors. So, like I said, cancer is a problem in New York that we face. There are prevention tactics there. But if everyone doesn't have a level playing field, then how can we prevent these disparities from occurring? And that is all that I would like to speak on today. And I just hope that you guys have learned a lot. Thank you.